Yeah. So, hi, folks. Good morning and good evening. Let me introduce myself. This is Raj. I hold around 10 plus years of experience completely into business intelligence. Been involved in the entire implementation of the business intelligence projects. Worked with Fortune 500 customers like GE, GSK, Hershey's, BASF. Okay, so been worked with the different customers. Uh, are you able to hear me, guys? Ashwini, please coordinate Bhushan and some others. They were not able to hear because their mic was, I think they were in the not computer audio. Respond to Bhushan and others. Okay. So this is about my technical background. It's lot of folks from the different background. Maybe okay. So let us do today. Um, what exactly is a data warehouse? Why data warehouse? So what are all the different ETL tools and what are all the different business intelligence tools we have? So and now recently, like, we have a visualization world came into the picture. So what is this visualization and how these are going to be helpful in the real time to the organizations if they implement all these data warehouse ETL reporting tools, how this is going to be a benefitable to the organizations. So let us have a detailed discussion on this so that you'll get an idea in the real time why companies are implementing these tools, reportings, so everything. Okay, so let us start up. Basically, what is a warehouse? What is a warehouse? Do a manufacturing organization need a warehouse? In terms of manufacturing organization, yes, yes. Any organization, if you take a manufacturing organization, they need to maintain a warehouse because they'll store all the goods whatever they have manufactured. All the products would be placed in a area that is called as a warehouse. So if I place my products in a warehouse, that is what called as a data warehouse, right? That is what a warehouse basically. So let's say same way. So where we have to store or capture all the transactional data. Like if you go to a Walmart or any of the stores, so when you'll purchase some items, they'll just punch on the product. Automatically, a bill will be generated. So do you think where that data would be captured? So with the help of ERP tools, we'll be capturing the entire data and we'll be storing the data in a data source. And if I have a huge amount of data to be stored in a warehouse, huge amount of data has to be stored in a warehouse. If I store in any of the source, that is what called as a data warehouse. Each and every organization complete the business related data which was captured will be placed in a area. So that is what called as a data warehouse. Generally we call that as a godown. If a manufacturing organization store their products, that's a godown. But here if it is a data warehouse, means the company related data would be placed in a data source, like, so that is what called as a data warehouse. Now that's fine. Each and every company will have the complete business related information would be captured in a source. What is the necessity to capture the data? What is the necessity to capture the data? Because why they need to capture the data? So with that, what it is, how it is going to helpful to the organization? So any idea or any guess? Nowadays if you see each and every small to big organizations, they were implementing this data warehouse. What was the main reason or purpose? Okay, so to expand the business, to make predictions, and to make predictions. Okay, let us take some real time examples. If you take Amazon, you'll be ordering some item, okay, in the online. So the entire data would be captured and would be transferred to the automatically a purchase order would be raised. So it will be moved to the specific location nearby godown. From there, do you guys know that in the Amazon stores completely it was with robots, the packing and picking up the product in a big godown. So everything would be done by the robots. If that captured data has been processed to robots, robot would identify the specific area, uh, uh, you know the lot, and it will get the lot, and in that lot a specific product will be extracted and give it to the resource where they can pack and send it to the next level to shipping. So everything would be done 24 bar 7 it was working, only because of the data is very precious and very important. Only with that data they can make some business decisions to improve their business. So automatically, if based on the analysis on the historical data, if I make some decisions which will help me to improve my business, so if not, again I cannot do anything. Like, let me just share you one more example. Detailing, let us go. Let's say I have started a business, okay, in a south region of a country. Any business, it has to deal with a product. Any business, it has to deal with a product, right? So let us assume that here I'm dealing with FMCG product. What is FMCG product? Fast moving consumer goods. Fast moving consumer goods means daily usage products. Daily usage products. So what was the company name? Let's say it was an ABC. Let us assume that. So the product, it is dealing with FMCG, and to capture all these business transactions, we need a data source, right? So all the transactional data, everything has to be get captured. For that, I'm using database as my data source, and in that database, I'm using Oracle database. I'm using Oracle database. Now, let us look into the other part. Now the business was going damn good. So the business was going damn good in a region. So I want to improve my business in the other regions of the country as a higher management. So if I want to improve my business, or if I want to start up my business in other regions of the country, so automatically I need to set up a business in the other region. So if I want to set up another business, rather than starting up a new company, new organization, what happens if I start up a new organization? Obviously, I need to identify a place. I need to market myself. And time wise, cost wise, it was a little bit high when compared with acquiring another existing business. So the higher management decided to acquire some businesses in other regions of the country, like north, east, and west regions. So if I acquire some business in other regions of the country, north, east, west regions, so let's say north region I have. So I have acquired an organization, the company name was XYZ. It also deals with fast moving consumer goods. And here they are already using MySQL as their data source. So same way, I have acquired few more organizations in the other regions. So the one area is Excel, the other area they were using Sybase, and 4 regions the product was they were dealing with FMCG, fast moving consumer goods. Now the business is going good. As a higher management, if I plan to improve my business, I need to make some decisions on my business. So if I want to make some decisions on my business, it is mandatory to understand the historical data. Based on the analysis on historical data, if I make a decision which will help me to improve my business, so without doing that, if I normally make a decision, 100% I may not be succeeded. So that reason, so each and every organization will plan to analyze the complete data. now if you see here, now my business data was in 4 different sources. One is Oracle, MySQL, Excel, and Sybase. So different sources I have my data here. Now how to make everything into a single source, because if I integrate all these sources into a single source, so that I can easily retrieve data from the source. Based on that, I can easily analyze my data. Let's say, for example, I want to know top 5 products sales was good across the country, top 5 product sales which was bad across the country, and the top 5 products stock was more in the which specific region. A specific product where the sales was really bad and the huge stock was blocked in any of the specific region. So for all these questions, if I want a solution or if I want an answer, I need to integrate these 4 sources into a single source system, because if I want to extract data from these 4 sources, I need to first make everything into a one source. Then it would be more comfortable in retrieving the data. So what are all the various options we have to integrate these 4 sources? So what are all the various options we have to integrate these 4 sources? So one simple thing what we can do is changing into a single database system is one of the best option. Changing into a single database system is one of the best option. So changing into a single database system means migrating the other databases into Oracle, like MySQL, Sybase, Excel. I can just migrate all these databases into Oracle, so that everything would be into a single source. So in that case, I need to recruit resources, I need to invest money, I need to purchase licenses, and the existing system would be changed again, because already users was habituated to that source. The north region, west region, east region, they were habituated to their own sources. If again a new source, means they need to train up, or I need to recruit the new resources as well. Users anyhow we cannot do anything, only the IT team we need to recruit. So a lot of changes has to be done if I go with that process, like migrating to the one single source. If I go with that, lot of changes in the IT level, management level, everywhere we need to go with that. So rather than going with this option, we have a advantage. So rather than going with this migrating into a one single source, we have another option. What we can do is we can simply let's say I have Oracle, Excel, MySQL, Sybase, 4 different sources I can extract the entire data. I can extract the entire data from the sources. If you see from the 4 sources, I'll extract the entire data. These are daily day-to-day transactions would be captured in these source systems. So these source systems are called as OLTP, Online Transactional Processing Systems. Online Transactional Processing System. Day-to-day transactions would be captured in these sources. So from here we can extract the data daily or weekly or monthly, quarterly, half yearly. I can extract the entire data into an area called transformations. So after extracting the entire data in the transformations, we'll be applying some business logic, because these are all different businesses. This is a different business, this is a different, this is a different. So all these businesses are a different business, but here if the data was inconsistent, let's say for example, if you take in the Oracle database, the customer name was entering like gender male and female was using as M and F in Oracle. So here I'm just using 01. Here I'm using 001, 002. Here I'm using MA and FE. So if you take a customer gender male and female, 4 different sources were using 4 different naming conventions. So again user would be confused. Like after if I extract the same way data into the warehouse or to the report, female customers who came to stores and purchased goods, if I need this information, what happens automatically? user would get confused because there would be 4 names, one F key, F01, different names we have. So user will be confused to extract to analyze the data. So what we have to do is we have to make unstructured data to structured in the transformations. We have to make unstructured data to structured in the transformation area by writing some business logics. By applying some business logics, we have to apply the logic here in the transformations. Let's say after extracting, after business logic has been applied in the transformations, then we have to load the entire data into a source, any of the source. It might be a database, it might be another source also. Extraction, transformation, then loading the entire data into data warehouse. Extraction, transformation, loading into a data warehouse. So now this data warehouse is also a database again. This is called as OLAP, online analytical processing, and this is called as online transactional processing. These 4 systems are called as transactional processing, and this is analytical processing. Let us say this extraction, transformation, and loading. For this process in the market, we have lot of tools available in the market. We have Informatica, we have DataStage, we have Abnitio, we have SSIS. For these extraction, transformation, and loading, we have lot of tools available for that. So instead of manually doing all these process, directly plug and play transformations are available with the ETL tools. We can achieve that. So now with the help of so now the entire data after extracting, transformation, loading into a place where it is called as a data warehouse, or it is also called as a OLAP, online analytical processing. So why it is called as an OLAP means because the entire historical data would be captured here. So the entire historical data was captured here, and we the entire historical data. So whatever we have, so that is what this data warehouse, nothing but our OLAP. So OLAP is nothing but where we do analytics. So we can also do analytics on the warehouse, nothing but it's like where we store huge amount of source. So this is called as an OLAP source also. So okay, it is not specific to any place OLAP, it is aggregated OLTP. If it is a transactional data, that is source system is called as a transactional OLTP. If it is captured a historical data, then it would be called as a OLAP source. So now the entire data was captured in the data warehouse. So let us say if my business is 10 years old, so where would be my 10 years of data has been captured? So my entire 10 years of data will be available in the data warehouse, not in the OLTP systems. OLTP systems will hold max of 6 to 1 year of data in the OLTP systems. So whereas here it would be like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. If my business is 30 years old, the entire 30 years of data would be available in the data warehouse. So now to make unstructured data to structured with the help of ETL tool, an organization would be loaded entire data into the data warehouse. Over here I have 4 different customer tables with different naming conventions, but whereas coming to the data warehouse, I'll be having a single customer dimension table where I'll be capturing complete customer information in that table. So I make it structured in the data warehouse. So now my entire data is available in the data warehouse. Okay, so finally end user need reports. Why reports? Based on the analysis on the reports, if they make decision which will help them to improve their business. Now here is again a challenge. I have the entire data in the data warehouse, my 10 years of business, and now I want to retrieve these reports in the form of I want to retrieve the data in the form of reports. So for this we have 2 options. Let us assume that this data warehouse is also a database. Okay, this data warehouse is also a database. So if I want to insert or retrieve data from the data warehouse, what is basically required from the database means structured query language is required. It cannot understand any other languages. It can only understand structured query language. Structured query language. So structured query language. But we have two options. I can recruit a resource where he can manually write structured query language and retrieve the data. He can write manually structured query and he can retrieve the data. So the other option was a business intelligence tools. The other option was a business intelligence tool. So if I go with the manual written query, it is cheaper. It's very cheap, like maybe a 50k bucks would be, or something would be provided to a resource. 2 or 3 resources I can recruit, and I can ask them to write SQL query as per the user requirements, and I can get the data for analysis, which is very cheaper if I go with the manual written queries and retrieve data from the data warehouse. But companies are not preferring this manual written queries, even though it is very cheaper. They are not preferring the manual written queries. Even though it is costlier, they were going with the business intelligence tools. Even though if it is costlier, they were going with the business intelligence tools. Business intelligence tools. So why they were going with the business intelligence tools? So what is the advantages? Because if there is an advantage, then only organization will invest a huge amount of money in the business intelligence tools. If not, they will not be investing, right? So even though it is costlier, they are going with the business intelligence tools. If they go with the business intelligence tools, they can view data in different ways. They can view data in 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional, dashboarding, scorecarding, analytics, and predictions also, like forecasting. So a lot of stuff, they can analyze it with the help of business intelligence. Security wise, it plays a vital role. Performance wise, it plays a vital role. Accessing wise, a lot of standards business intelligence tools follows, and all business intelligence tools are zero footprint. Zero footprint means once if a dashboard has been developed or report has been developed, it will be published into the web. It will be available in the web, in the Internet Explorer. No need to install any softwares or plugins in the end user machines. Directly they can access these dashboards either through desktop, laptop, tab, mobile, anything they can access. No need to install anything. They should be connected to the network. They should have access to the specific dashboard. That's it. It's more than enough. So that's the reason no need to install any softwares or plugins in the end user machine. So that is what this advantage of business intelligence tools, if I go with that. So we have lot of tools available in the market. If you see, lot of tools available in the market. So earlier 15 years back, if you see in the market, we have Cognos and Business Object. They were rulers like last 15 years. In last 6-7 years, you can see OBI, MSBI also. Okay, Cognos means it is an IBM product. Business Objects means it is an SAP product. OBI means it is an Oracle product. MSBI means it is a Microsoft product. It is a Microsoft product. So last 6 years, OBI and MSBI was in the market. Earlier, Cognos and Business Objects were in the market. And if you see, recently few evolution has been occurred, and a lot of visualization tools came into the picture. So Tableau, ClickView, Spotfire, a lot of tools nowadays. You can see, lot of tools available in the market. But if you see, all these are market leaders: Cognos, Business Objects, IBM, SAP, Oracle, MSBI. But in the Gartner review, if you see the business, when compared with all the business intelligence tools, Tableau was standing first position in the Gartner review since 5 years. Every February they release. Gartner is a very big organization, so they give the results. Like they'll analyze the tools and they'll give their feedback, and also they need to give the justification. If not, they'll sue the company, right? So they have given clear justification. You can also Google and see it. So why the demand has been increased means you need to understand. And earlier days, last 15 years or 10 years, if you see, only a mid-level to high-level company can only able to afford this, can implement this business intelligence and can able to afford this ETL and reporting tools. Nowadays, each and every organization need to analyze their historical data. Based on that, they need to make a decision. So each and every organization need this data warehouse to be implemented, so that only they can improve their business. They don't have alternate option. Like if you see, if you remember, 15 years back, so how many were using a mobile phone? So at the point of time, it was costly and very less, resources or users were using the mobile phones. Do you think that point of time there is no requirement to mobile? Even though there is a requirement to the mobile, even though there is a requirement to the mobile 15 years back, if you see in India, very less members were using the mobile. There is a requirement, but it is costlier where they cannot afford it, the carrier, the line, as well as the mobile. So that's the reason. But nowadays, so you can see each and every person is having a mobile phone. Only the reason is that point of time, even though it is required, it is costlier, but nowadays it is cheaper. Everyone can able to afford it. The same way, if you see in this data warehouse, this business intelligence market, even that point of time also it is really required. Last 10 years, 15 years back also, each and every organization, so it is mandatory to have a data warehouse implemented, and out of it ETL and reporting has to be utilized. But due to cost effective, they were not able to use this data warehouse and implementing this. Nowadays we have, with very cheaper price, there are a lot of tools available. So each and every small to mid-level companies are also focusing, and users themselves, they're developing their ad hoc reporting for their analysis purpose. So cost wise, if you see, Tableau was really cheaper. That was the reason the sales was more. So that's the reason it was standard in the Gartner review in the first position. Because if the sales was bad, then it cannot stand in the first position. If the sales was good, when the sales will be good, and compared to other business intelligence tools, if it is having more features and facilities, and also cost wise also, if it is a little bit cheaper when compared to other tools, okay, then it would be, they can sell it more easily by the Tableau organization, so which helps them to increase their business as well. As you can see, Tableau was in the market position. So that's the reason, if you see in the market, in the job market, always for the ETL and reporting tools, there will be a huge demand. But so you should be always upgrade to the latest technologies. Okay, so then it is going to helpful you guys. And these reporting tools, anyone can easily learn, because this is a tool, so which has been built in a language again. If you see any of these business intelligence tools, they have been built in a language. What we have to know is each and every option. So what is this specific option utilized? Why is this option? You need to be known. So the advantage is, any resource without having a background, IT background, can also easily learn and easily survive, and easily he can compete and get a job. And again, one more important thing, if there was a position, if you take Cognos or business object, means 10-15 years resources, lot of resources available in the market. So a fresher or someone who don't have really experience cannot compete with them, because they already have genuine experience and well experienced guy. So, and if you take the latest technologies like advanced BA plus VA, business intelligence, visual analytics, Tableau, ClickView, Spotfire, so these kind of tools, what happened, there would be very less resources available in the market, less resources availability in the market, and easily can get a job, and easily we can also survive, because the GUI, graphical user interface, was very friendly, and it is completely like user driven. Okay, so with these tools, easy to learn, easy to survive, and job market also would be always good to the latest technologies, because as per the sales it was good, you can see in the Gartner review. Okay, so Was that clear, guys? Why each and every organization has to implement data warehouse means? So the main reason behind this is for analysis, for decision making purpose. So based on the historical data. So without that, they cannot do any decision making. So on prediction also. So let me give you another example. Let us say I'm a manufacturer. So let us assume that I'm a car manufacturer. Okay, so this year my sales was 200 cars. If I repeat the same thing without analyzing and without doing forecasting, if I follow the same thing next year also, I have released a new specific car type or model. So without production, if I manufacture the same 200 means I'll be getting the same 200 sales only. But based on the historical data, if I analyze and if I forecast it, and in my forecasting, I came to know that I may sell, there is a lot of chances to sell 500 cars. If I get that information in my forecasting, what I can do in a single day, I cannot get everything done, right? So what I need to do, I need to expand everything. I need to expand my resources. I need to get my finance. I need to get the resources and the goods, the materials. Everything has to be procured before itself. So if I want to procure before, if I have an idea or if I forecast it, if I know that I may approximately sell up around 500 means I need to double the infrastructure and everything. It cannot be done in a single day. So this year, if I plan it by forecasting, I can slowly increase it. Maybe by on time, I can sell 500 cars. If not, what happens? Normally, I'll manufacture 200. I'll sell the same thing. So the market would be captured by the other organizations. So that's the reason forecasting is important. How do we forecast? Based on the historical data only. Okay, we have some techniques: bottom-up approach, top-down approach, regression models. So with the models, we can estimate and we can do that. Okay, so that's the reason each and every organization need this business intelligence done for forecasting and stuff. But how this business intelligence tool basically it work is, all the business intelligence tools are a three-tier architecture. It is a multi-tier architecture, but for the classification purpose, it has been classified into three-tier architecture. So any of the business intelligence tools, three layers, simply they have been classified: web layer, data layer, application layer, and data layer. So the web layer means where end user will run the reports, like web server, web layer. Application server means its core. And data layer. So data layer is nothing but our database, our content store. So any of the business intelligence tool, if you take a reporting tool, so in the web server, in the web layer we'll have a web server. Application server means application layer, application server. So if it is a Cognos means Cognos server, OBA means OBA server, MSBA means MSBA server. Whatever database we have, whatever business intelligence tool we have, that tool would be displayed here in the application server, the tool application server. So if end user run a report here, that would be automatically moved to the web server. So in the web server, what happens basically, web servers, Tomcat, Apache server, lot of web servers are available. So the entire physical information of the report in the web, through mobile, through desktop, anywhere, if you click on the report, the entire that information is a physical information. So the XML, the entire physical information would be available in the web server. From this web server to the next application server, a gateway will be carrying the information. Okay, a gateway will carry the information. Gateway will carry the entire information. So after carrying the gateway from web server to the application server, so what application server will do, because database cannot understand any other language, so it can only understand the structured query language. So who is going to write the SQL query here means this application server. If it is a Cognos application server. OBA means OBA. So that will convert the entire physical information into SQL query. SQL query, structured query language. So that would be converted into application server. From the application server means SQL query would be the physical information will be converted to SQL query, and with the help of dispatchers, thus that query will be sent to the database. So here again from the database, based on the query, it will send back data to the application server. So before sending, it will authenticate. It will check whether the requested person is having authorization to view this data or not. If he is having access, then it will be sent, and again back to the user where he can see the dashboard or report points. So this is what happens in any of the business intelligence tool, in any of the business intelligence tools, three-tier architecture. So web layer, application layer, database layer. So each and every time if user run a report or open a report, it has to process to the web server, to the application server, to the database, and this is how it works. And always in the real time, so this will be in the distributed environment. We will not be going with the standalone environment. So standalone environment is nothing but in a single machine installing everything, only single thing. So distributed environment means one or more web servers will be installed, one or more application servers will be installed, one or more content stores would be available, because if one server fail, automatically another will be up. So same way here, application server also, if one server is down, automatically another server would be, application server would be up. So there is no point where the work is going to be get stopped. If one server, web server was stopped, the other will start working. So it is like a parallel processing. If I have two, if I get 3 requests, 2 will be handling 2 requests, 1 will be in the queue. If any of the 2 servers is completed, that request will be sent to the server. So if one is not working, everything would be done only on the single server. This is what happening last 15 years. But recently, an evolution has been occurred in the market. We got some business intelligence plus visual analytics. What is this business intelligence plus visual analytics means? Let's say if user run a report, obviously it has to visualization tools, means the web server. Even here also it will go back to the web server. So then to the next application server. Even here also it is the same thing. But this visualization tool, the advantage was after connecting to the, if user run a report, that would be moved to the web server. Same process, however, other business intelligence tools happen here also the same thing. But if you take Tableau, you can see here the entire data after extracting to the web server. It is not directly sharing to the end user. It is actually storing in the Tableau server RAM. Generally, if you want to increase the speed of your laptop, what we do? If it is getting delayed in the laptop, the processing speed, what we do basically, we'll increase the RAM, right? So 4 GB to 6 GB or 6 to 8. So if I increase the speed, RAM speed, automatically, okay, so automatically the speed will get increasing. So here what happening in these recent visualization tool, if you take Tableau, ClipView or Spotfire, so after extracting the entire data, here it is directly sharing it to the end user. It is not having a copy of the data here. But here the extracted data, it is maintaining a copy in the RAM. Then it was sharing with the users. It is just capturing the RAM, the data in the RAM. From RAM, it is sharing it to the end user. And if I want to do some, if I want to play with the data here, if the user want to play with the data, he need to get data from the RAM. Instead of these 3 steps, here directly he can get the RAM. But how to interact between the RAM data and by the user? Let's say user want to play with the data. User want to do some calculations in the fly, okay, long calculations or something you want to calculate in the fly. So then there should be an interaction between user and the RAM, because if user requested something, RAM should be able to understand that and should be able to send the data, render data and images. So how this interaction would be happening means, so in Tableau we have an option. They came up with their own query language called visualization query language, VQL, visualization query language. User came up with a visualization query language, came up with VQL called as a visualization query language. Visualization query language will understand the user request and it hit the RAM, get the data, render the images. Data and images both would be get rendered with the help of VQL, visualization query language. Visualization query language. Without that, again, it is not possible. Okay, so that is the main advantage in the Tableau. So that's the reason it was standard in the first portion. This is called as an in-memory tool. Let us say if other user also want to access the data, means no need to go with the the same thing. You can, that users also can access data from the RAM, and RAM is a temporary storage. It is not a permanent storage. It is a just temporary storage. So everyone can play with the data because the data was available in the RAM. I can view the same data in the in bar chart. He can view same in bubble chart. He can view same in the list report. Data was same, but the visualization was getting changed. Data will remain same, but the visualization for analysis it will vary. So this is how we can play with the data. If I go with the BA plus VA tools, visual analytic tools, and if I close the report, the data will be washed out from the RAM. It is not a permanent storage, it's a temporary. Next time again if I click it, it has to hit the source the same way. It has to get the data, and a copy would be captured here, and I can play with the data from here. So this is what happens in the business intelligence and visual analytic tools Tableau. So this helped to, yeah, Navdeep, just give me 2 minutes. I'll end up and I'll answer everyone questions one by one. I'll answer, Navdeep. Just give me 2 minutes. Okay, so this is how it varies when compared to other tools. And also in Tableau there are separate connectors. So here to connect, if you take any of the business intelligence tool, we'll be having only a single connector, but whereas here we have multiple connectors. Like if I want to connect to a data MDX, I have a separate connector, MDX connector, Cube Data. If I want to connect to a big warehouses, I have a fast data engine connector. If I want to connect to a SQL, I have a SQL connectors. I have separate connectors, plugins. I have a separate cross data modeling is also allowed. Lot of flexibility. We have these BA tools, and cost wise also coming to Tableau. You can see we have mainly two components: Tableau Desktop and Tableau Server. Tableau Desktop is a window-based tool which is used for modeling and reporting. Tableau Server, which is used to share the reports to the users. So two components, and Tableau Desktop was around $2,000 per desktop, and server each user $1,000. 10 users we need to purchase minimum of. Every year maintenance would be 500 for desktop and 200 for the server users. Very cheaper. So normal, even low to mid-level organization also can implement, can afford and implement this. So that's the reason the sales was every year it is growing very faster in the market, and the job opportunities also. If you see to Tableau, lot of opportunities when compared to that. You can see DICE, Indeed, where you can understand the number of positions. So if it is around 2,000 positions for Tableau, the other business intelligence tools, if you take other tools, they are very less, not more than even 100 also. So you can check it in the DICE or Indeed to get a clarity. And easy tool, easily anyone can learn, and easily everyone can survive it. So let me show you a Tableau desktop, how as I say, Tableau is a window-based tool, desktop. How we can generate a simple reporting, and what is the difference between normal report and visualization? Let me show you. So, as this is a window-based tool, so which is available in the window, and which will not hold any data source. Let us connect to the sample superstore English extract. So to the source. Now let us let me ask you a few questions here. Now this is actually a reporting tool. If user want to get answers to lot of questions, let me drag. He is having different categories, and he is having a sales as well as. Okay, so this is what actually a report. He want to figure out third category wise sales. What is the third category wise sales? Third category wise sales is more. I mean, out of all these categories, you want to find out third category based on the sales. Can you guys answer, any one of you? What is the category? Third category, third rank category based on the sales. If you see, this is actually a report. Uday Kiran was answered like it was telecom, but I'm not sure whether even it is a telecom or some other thing, because we need to sort the data and we need to do. And let me give you another visualization. Okay, so if I click on the bar, now everyone can answer the question.
Rubber band.
So first one is this, second one is this, third one is this. Storage and organization was the third one. Sorry, tables is the third one. Yeah. See, at a glance there is a difference. If you can understand, there is a difference between these two. So data was same, here it is same, and here it is same, but that is what the difference between a normal report and the visualization. So now at a glance user can easily understand. First office machines, but whereas here it will really take some time to understand, but whereas here it is easy to understand the business. At a glance user can able to understand. That is what the advantage of visualization. And here in Tableau we have a provision or advantage, like user can change the visualization, because now the entire data was in the RAM. So from RAM user can able to do his own analysis like this. It was not restricted like other business intelligence tool. So if you take other business intelligence tool, only IT team has to develop the bar chart and has to give to the user. Even 10 years also you'll see only the bar. He cannot change the visualization. But whereas here the entire data is available in the RAM, so there was a separate language called visualization query language. So with the visualization query language, easily we can interact with the RAM and render data and images here. So this is what one of the major advantage in the Tableau. So keeping in mind all these, so Tableau was standing in the first position in the Gartner review when compared to other business intelligence tool. And it is very easy to learn and easy to survive, and this is what the it is standing in the first position in the market. You can see, if I want to sort, you can make. If you want to make designing, you can designing. So this is a tool, right? So if you want to make swap, you can just click on this button. Only thing you need to understand, the options in the tool. Tool itself you can understand. Whatever you have to do, that has been written code in the backend, and option has been enabled here. So simply you can do, and you can do whatever you want. If I want to calculate the difference, you can also calculate difference between the previous category to the current category. So all these are negative values. So however we want, we can do it, we can color it, we can. So more flexibility. Tool itself means all facilities will have, only we need to understand what option help us to make what. So if I want to color it, drag and drop it in the color, you can encode color. Okay, so anyone can easily learn and easily survive these reporting tool. And job opportunities wise, it was huge market for Tableau. You can also Google it. You can check the Gartner review. Okay, so yeah. So now let me answer your questions one by one. Um, would the data be stored in the web server? Per my knowledge, OLAP is different from data warehouse. See, there is nothing like specific, Navadip. If I have my historical data in a place, analytical processing means analytics means analysis. So we can do analysis on the data warehouse. So yes, OLAP is a data warehouse. We can also call data warehouse as a OLAP. It is not a different. OLAP means where you can do analysis and analytics on the data. So on the data warehouse, we can do that. So that's where like even data warehouse is also a OLAP online analytical processing. So would the data be stored in the web server RAM or on the application server RAM? It would be stored in the Tableau web server. Tableau web server RAM. Nothing but the application, whatever Tableau application would be maintained, everything over there, right? So over there in the RAM, it would be captured. The Tableau server RAM, it would be captured, and from there we will be accessing it.
So Raj, so it would be on the application server, right?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm not convinced with the previous answer that I asked about OLAP. So why TM1, Cognos, Power Cube, Oracle SBase are different from data warehouse? So why we specifically call those data sources as OLAP?
Can you come again, Navdeep? Why specific?
No, so you said data warehouse is called as OLAP, right?
Yes.
How come the Cognos TM1, Cognos Power Cube, Oracle SBase, and Microsoft Analysis Services, whatever, why do we call them as OLAP instead of data warehouse? Why do we differentiate?
They are all reporting tools like Cognos, TM1, they are all Tabular Model 1, MSBA, they are all reporting tools. So they are also called as OLAP tools. OLAP tools, why we call them as a OLAP tools means we can able to connect to even the warehouses, and we can retrieve the data. So they just call as a OLAP tools. They are not OLAP systems, because these are all only reporting tools. Cognos, OBB, OBA, MSBA. So these are all only reporting tools. They will not hold any data. So these are not called as a
I understand.
OLAP systems.
My question was, OLAP is different from data warehouse. So OLAP tools might be different from the reporting tools. I agree with you. But OLAP concept is completely different from data warehouse, and OLAP, they use MDX instead of C.
Data warehouse is also called as an OLAP.
Okay.
Our OLAP we have, see, it's simply you need to understand only one thing. What is OLAP? Basically, it's a concept of online analytical processing. Analytical data would be processed. From there only we'd be where we will be doing this analytical processing. From the data warehouse, we do the analytical processing. So in that case, data warehouse is also called as an OLAP. Maybe in some conditions, if you are pulling up some transactional data, or there might be different. What is a warehouse? Warehouse is nothing but a godown. If I capture huge amount of data, that's called as a data warehouse. So if I have my complete historical data, I can do the analytical process on top of it. So that way we can also call a data warehouse as an OLAP systems, because the analytical processing can be done at the data warehouse level also, right? So that is the reason we call that as a OLAP. Data warehouse is also called as a OLAP, whereas OLTP means the transactional data. So any of the source systems that maybe data marts or other source systems may not be called as a OLAP systems, but wherever if I hold huge amount of historical data, so there we can process the analytics, so that it is called as an OLAP system. Yeah. Navadip.
Thanks,
It's just a system we can call. call. Yeah. So what are the advantages? What are the disadvantages to Tableau when would not be good idea to use it, or is it always the best choice for a BA tool? Yeah. So advantages wise, yes, it is. We have, as I said, when compared to other business intelligence tool, it is a BA plus a VA tool also. And GUI it was good, and cost wise it was very less. More plugins. If I want to connect to any of the data sources, you can see here, the plugins are available straight away. So directly you can just click any of the source, whatever you want, and you can specify the server IP address. So the sales was good, and the Gartner review is also good. So obviously it is a best choice for the organization. Cost effective, and other areas also it is very less. So disadvantages, nothing big disadvantage. Like if you see traditional reporting cognos and stuff, we used to drag 50-60 columns and we'll pull the output in the Excel format. So but it is quite different, like the figures, the summarized values for decision making, this helps us out. Now earlier a lot of options were not available, but nowadays, like 7, 8, 9, 10, everything was available, easy plug and play. So for organizations, it is really a best option with less price, with more visual analytics, the best solution, because it is an in-memory tool, whereas other business intelligence tools are not in memory, and it is having separate connectors, cost-wise. So all these areas, when compared to with other business intelligence tools, they were standing in the top position. Even ClickView is also good. Difference between Tableau and ClickView? Good question, Kishore. So the major difference between Tableau and ClickView and Spotfire is, whereas BI wise, visual analytic wise, Tableau was awesome and it was good in both the cases. But if you take ClickView, BI wise it was good, visual analytics wise it was average. Visual analytic wise it was average. Whereas a Spotfire, visual analytics was good, but BA was average. So in the ClickView and Spotfire, ClickView, it is not that much good compared to visualization, and Spotfire, the reporting BA was not good. So whereas coming to Tableau, BA and VA both are in a very good place. So that's the reason. And ClickView, again, we have to write a lot of coding for small things also. Developer wise also, it is really a little bit tough thing. So that the reason you can see Tableau is gradually increasing, and second position, earlier ClickView was in the second position, now it replaced with the MSBI. Yes, no problem. Balaji, does it have the capability to detect changes to the underlying data and refresh the cache data? Can we control the cache refresh frequency? What if the data cache is used? Good question. Mm, yes. So yes, we can refresh the cache data, and as this was captured in the RAM, so in the temporary data, so automatically what happens is automatically the data would be washed out if I close the report, and again hit the source and get the data. And if you want to refresh every 5 minutes or 10 minutes the cache data, we can also set it up, so automatically it will get refreshed. So yes, it will get refreshed. If the data cache is huge, that's what this is actually a RAM based application, Tableau, coming to Tableau. So we go with the distributed environment. If one server was full automatically it will use the another you know, server RAM. In the distributed environment, it can use it up easily. We need to increase the RAM. How much efforts does it take to learn if you have the basic SQL on? So VGQL is also kind of it is not exactly the SQL, but it's like SQL, and I don't think so it is required to learn again VGQL, because for system understanding, uh, Shamir Nizar, so for to interact between the user and the RAM, so VGQL will plays a vital role. But for us, it is least bothered because it can internally write and it can get it up. To understand it would be like an SQL itself. Easily we can understand. If you are having some SQL knowledge, yes, we can. What are all the roles available in Tableau means? Yes, obviously, like other business intelligence tools, we also have same thing, like we have developer role, architect role, administrator role. So developer means core development, architect means understanding business modeling. uh, Everything has to be done by the architect, data modeling and the business, and what calculations has to be done at the ETL level and what has to be at the report level. So visualizations, decision making, because users will not be having idea about the visualization. They'll just give us the requirement sometimes. He'll be guiding this kind of analysis as per the best practices. This is suggested. We have some standards. If the analysis is over a period of time, it is suggested to go with the line charts. If the analysis is over a comparison, then it's a bar chart. So kind of decision making would be done by the architect and administrator. Again, we have different levels like adding users, giving permissions, license levels, securities. All this is one administrator. Core installations and maintenance is again a different thing. So yeah. So as a part of this course, so I'll be covering you Tableau desktop, Tableau server, uh, three roles: developer, architect, administrator, not the core installation and maintenance.
Good morning, Raj sir. This side Vivek Vikram.
Yes, Vikram.
Yeah, as I'm new to this technology, I would like to know that to enroll for this Tableau, one must have knowledge of SQL. You said that a guy need to have a knowledge with VIGetQL. Am I right? So if a
Yes.
guy is not having a knowledge of SQL, no any knowledge of in codings, so how difficult will it be for a guy to learn?
Okay.
As in the previous tools, reporting tool, as like I'm talking about business object. I don't find over there any coding we need to learn or any programming language or something. Yeah. So
Yeah.
what?
Good question. Good question. Basically what happens here is, Vikram, it depends on the organization to organization. Let's say if the organization uh, is having data source as a Hadoop, so
Okay.
then database is not required. If the data was in the Excel, database is not really required. It depends on the organization where you work. So but most of the organization, their sources would be on the database itself. So
Yes.
that's where it is advantageous if you have a database knowledge. On the interview point of view, most of the time they stress more on these areas like Tableau, and apart from that, they might ask you generic data version questions, and they might ask you database questions as well as. So that's the reason, if you have, that would be always an advantageous. But
Mm.
until unless once if you got a project and if you entered, then only based on requirement, again we can figure it out which specific database, or it is a Hadoop, or it is an Excel, or some other sources, what kind of source might be used. But to learn this tool, as of now, it is not required. But to clear an interview, and to have some idea, SQL is really important and required. As a business intelligence guy, you should at least know some basic idea on the SQL.
So during your training, will you be dealing with the basic SQL? I mean to say that terms.
Yeah, they'll be helping you with 30 database recordings. So free 30 database recordings, so where you can access and you can go through all the basic stuff. You can also practice in the W3 schools
Mhm.
to get a basic idea. You can spend some time. So we'll be even guiding in that.
So my question is that, as you said about the visualization query language, yeah. So it's I believe it's a type of language. So it in this you'll be dealing with that language as well in the during our training session.
Sorry, Vikram, can you come again?
Yeah, as we talked previously regarding the query language, yeah, visualization query
Yes,
language.
yes,
So
correct.
during our training session, you'll be covering that language as well.
Yes,
How
yes.
so for that, if I'm not wrong, a guy must have the basic knowledge of SQL. As you said that it's quite similar with the SQL, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll clarify you. Mostly we'll be working with the options only. I'll show where we can able to see the which QL, and which QL again it is not mandatory to analyze the which QL. So we'll be having a log files where we do that log files. So which QL is not really required for analysis. I'll just show you where the which QL is available, but anyhow we'll not be analyzing the which key, so it is not really required, but we'll be working with lot of calculations functions. So in that point of time I'll give you some enough time to go through these database functions and stuff, and I'll one by one I'll explain in detail, which will help you to cope up and understand the classes.
Okay, that
So,
sounds
but
great.
which QL really not required. But the other functions, database functions, everything I'll discuss. I'll give you some time. I'll give you some documentations. So you have to go through that, and the sessions will be uh,
So,
designed.
as you talk about the documentation will be something specified, or it's sometimes what happens that from the trainer will be that they will just give the soft copy, bundle of soft copy, and they ask to go through it. Yeah. So just like a book, yeah, they ask that you just go through it. And what will be your type? I mean to hear documents. What type of document will you be giving us?
The session timings you're talking about, the
No.
total number of hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
That Ashwini will get back to you on the timings, and she'll be, will be coordinating with you guys, and she'll be explaining you how many number of hours. It would be around 30 hours, and about the license and the software, the resume preparation. Anyhow, I'll be guiding you guys like how to prepare resume. So other things like Ashwini will call you and discuss more detailedly on that area.
Hmm.
So any
So
technical questions you can ask me. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean to say that you'll be helping us with the interview preparation during the training itself here.
Yes. Yes. It would be a completely practical oriented sessions for certification purpose and FAQs. Also, it would be clearly guided. And one more important thing here is I have written a book on Tableau. I'll be sharing you that book as well. FAQs as well. Obviously, FAQs also you can have around 120. We'll also even discuss that FAQs in the session also.
Hmm.
So whatever
So
questions we have, interview point of view questions, yes.
so as for this course training, it will be of 60 hours. Sorry, I mean 30 hours. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So it will be a weekend or weekdays classes.
No, only weekdays. Weekdays,
So what the
Vikram.
timing?
That's like Ashwini will talk to you
Okay.
because she has to coordinate with everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So she will talk to everyone, and she'll get back to you on the timings and everything. You can be in touch with
Ashwin.
um Ashwini. So I'll also request Ashwini to share you a couple of technical recordings on Tableau as well, as so that you guys can go through the technical recordings. You'll get an idea before making a decision.
Mm-hmm.
So how the trainings and whether going with the practical stuff or not. Please follow Ashwini email and spare some time to go through my technical recordings. So and the course content, everything she'll be sharing you. You can just go through that and she'll be in touch with you. She can help you out with whatever questions you have. And if you want to talk to me also, you can ask Ashwini. She can patch me a call and you can also clarify your most of your questions. And let us have a one more technical session. Okay, so okay, let us have one more core technical. This is something a generic like about the market, the
Yeah.
warehouse and other things. Let us set up a technical session. Ashwini will take care of that. So let us discuss detailedly on the technical point of view as well.
That
Okay.
that sounds great. So
Yeah. So
so fine. As I saw
mostly
the.
let us have a technical session tomorrow.
Mhm.
So let us discuss detailedly technical session in the tomorrow itself. So meanwhile you can also go through the recordings, course content and other things,
Tomorrow
so
at the
that you will
same
get it
time, hopefully.
same time. Yeah,
Mhm.
same time.
So do you, if you don't mind, do you provide the class in the morning as well? I mean to say that India's evening.
No, only in the morning times, India
Okay.
morning times, and it would be the evening times in the USA. Like it would be, I have regular batches going on,
Hmm.
7:30 to 8:30, 8:30 to 9:30. So
Okay. So you are not.
this would be
So
9:30
you don't have the time in the
EST.
evening. Yeah. India evening.
No, I don't have in the morning. Yeah,
Hmm.
only evening batches. This
US evening
EST,
batches.
yeah,
Okay.
it would be 9:30 to 10:30 EST.
Hmm. That sounds good. Okay, sure. We'll contact Ashwin once.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for your time, guys, everyone. Okay, so Ashwini will be in touch with you if you have any queries. Don't hesitate to call Ashwini. She'll patch me a call so we can, have a clear discussion if anything is required. Uh,
So
okay,
one,
guys.
so one last query is there. Sir, I just want to
Yes.
establish, as you said that Tableau is a good platform to start a career. Yeah. So a guy who is having just the knowledge of Tableau, yeah, tools. So do he require any some other tools as well to to have a to stand in the
Yeah, I
market?
understand your question. So not required, Vikram. Most of the jobs, if you see in the dice are Indeed, they were just looking for a senior Tableau developer.
Yeah,
So these
yeah.
kind of positions, very rarely they will ask you a Tableau developer with Java, Tableau developer with .NET, Tableau developer with Alteryx. 20% they might ask you with other technologies, but 80% core, if you see, would be more into Tableau itself.
So a guy with a knowledge of Tableau, a good knowledge of Tableau,
Yes,
he can be stand in the market. He can
yes,
survive.
yes,
He can survive. Am I making
yes,
sense? So he don't have to
yes.
require to go with other tools and training as well. Yeah, as sometimes the guy says that you need to have a knowledge of .NET, Java, or somewhere else, or even HANA
Not required, really,
database.
not required. Yeah, maybe based on the different requirements, they might ask you very rarely. That's what, like 10 to 20% of the requirement would be like that. But 80% of the requirement would be core on Tableau itself. If you
Mhm.
can see DICE view job requirements, you will understand it.
Okay, that sounds good. So you'll be dealing with the real time classes, yeah. I mean, how the real, how
Yes,
in the
yes.
real life.
Everything would be practical oriented sessions. Everything will be covering up in the sessions. So, you can also go through some of the technical recordings, and tomorrow session you'll understand. So, how detailed will be just going with the sessions. So, you'll get more clarity maybe with the tomorrow session with me.
Yeah, that will be great. I was flexible with the morning schedule. If is it
Okay.
possible for? Okay, I'll talk with Ashwin
Yeah.
regarding the
Thank
timing.
you, guys.
Okay,
Thanks
fine.
for your time.
Have a good day.